Higher than where you actually are walking. So here we come. So this is all new-made land. In earlier days you would have been here already completely at the sea. So up front there, all that land you see there used to be water. All the land made by the Dutch. Now the high tower used to be an office from Shell, but Shell sold the tower, and then on top they are making now a restaurant. You see that on top of the tower? And that restaurant is like on a disc, so the restaurant can turn then in the future, completely around. Next to it, the white building, if you look well at it, it has the shape of an eye, you see? And it's called The Eye in English as well. And that's the film museum, because they think you watch the film with your eye, so the building in the shape as an eye. So here on the water, straight on, now on your right, there you would come to the beginning of the North Sea Canal, and then further 20 kilometers, the huge locks with on the other side the North Sea. So this part used to be the normal harbor part, but when that new canal was dug out, that meant that we had there a quicker connection. So then from there they started to build the harbor part immediately next to that North Sea Canal. And it seems because they were first living there and having these beautiful big windows, as you can see, and they had this nice open view over the city and or over the water. And then suddenly, after 3 years that they lived there, they started to build in front of their nose in the waters. After the Second World War, wanted to get married again, and so they were on waiting lists, and it could take really a long time. So then the city offered them a temporary solution, and that was then on the water. So then they could buy from the city, they could buy like a concrete floating floor. The license for the spot was for free, though you paid a little bit of taxes per year. So that meant when you had that license, you were legal, and so they had already gas, electricity on board. Toilets had open connections with the canals in those times, so that was not so nice, because it could be that you came in the toilet and that there was a rat sitting in the toilet, and though you don't like to do pee-pee when the rat is sitting there. But okay, later it all changed, because then they decided to keep these houseboats, and that meant also that the license became steady, and then they could ask more taxes. It was like that. Now, again, still then the possibility to have gas, electricity, running water, and the toilets must now be connected with a... because they were afraid that the people in the office might hear it, and then Anne Frank wrote that she could hear the chimes of the church, and that it was comforting. But anyway, this church is also the symbol of the city. If you want to prove back home you've been in Amsterdam, you must have a picture of this tower, because on the tower is the crown, and halfway the tower again the crown, together with the coat of arms from the city, and that are the 3 Andrew crosses. Actually, after the next bridge, looking back, you really see it very well if you take then a picture through the roof. It's really, really well after the bridge that you see it quite well looking back. But anyway, in the 17th century, this was then the highest tower of the city, so they decided to put the symbols on the tower. If you're sick, the fire department comes, gets you out through the window, then with a kind of lift, elevator going to the window, the stretcher on the lift, and whoop, down you go. Renovation materials are pulled up, so pianos, we pull them up, drunken husbands, we pull... Yeah.
Oh, thank you. think one more.
In the middle it opens for freight ships. Also the one up front opens then because that's the turn-off to go towards the harbor. So they still sail the river. At night also that bridge is completely illuminated.
half of the coffee is changed. हाँ तोच नाही
हे मोठ्या बोटी येऊन नाही म्हणून त्यांनी वाढलेलं ना.
Right, we have then the city hall with the opera, and then they made the flea market smaller, so during the day it's more behind the building now, the flea market. But we actually did like that flea market so much because you always had a chance to buy your stolen bike back the next day. Yeah, and that has become quite less possibilities now. But a city hall, stadhuis with opera makes the name Stopera. City hall, opera, stadhuis, opera, Stopera. And the protest was called Stop the Opera, Stopera. So a complete combination. So we follow a little part from the river, the Amstel, actually until the part where it ends, because that's how Amsterdam was started, that there was a dam put in the Amstel. Did you drive over the dam where the Royal Palace was at, coming towards the company here? No, Sophia, no? Okay. But anyway, the dam is a central square, and so that was at first, in the period of 1200, it was a dam to block off the Amstel from the sea. So they thought that by blocking off, that there would be less flooding from the water on the swampy soils, and that then the swampy soils would get drier and that they could live on it. So that's how Amsterdam started. There was a dam put in the Amstel by fishermen. So at first, the name that we know of, it was called Amsterdam, the dam in the Amstel, Amsterdam. So a little bit back looking, once you look in and then wait and then now looking back, you see that? And in that church we found the night watch, because Rembrandt lived not far from that church, and once he had painted the night